Welcome to the first of what is a recorded message from Great Spirit that was downloaded through shamanic practice. I'm Becky Sangha. I'm an intuitive, an energy healer, and shamanic practitioner. I also bring in healing codes, both ancient and modern, and relay them through my artwork. This week's overall message was that you are going to be called to do something that you've never done before. But you are also being given spiritual guides who will help you through it. Now, during the shamanic practice, I was actually joined by Badger Spirit. And Badger Spirit is just such a unique spirit. Badgers, for those of you who don't know and don't live by them, are quite fearless and bold. I actually have had one coming into my yard recently. I thought they were raccoons, but after a storm, I decided to go ahead and track and to see where these raccoons were at on my property. Well, in doing the tracking and finding where the prints ended up, it was actually a badger hole. And I thought it was really cool that outside the badger hole, there were some little bits of honeycomb. And not too distant, there was a hollowed out tree trunk from fire that some bees had taken up and had made into their beehive. So anyway, I just found it kind of interesting that I had just had that experience last week. And then during my shamanic journeying, Badger Spirit joined me and really reminded me that badgers are fearless and bold, and that your persistence, your tenacity, and your faith in creating your future with your spirit guides is really all you need to take on the new challenges that are being given to you and the new callings that you're taking upon at this time. So that was kind of just an overall message. Again, persistence, commitment, tenacity, and faith in your partnership with your spirit guides will yield the results that you're looking for, not just in your spiritual and your energetic bodies, but also in your physical body and even manifested in the physical world around you. During the practice, it was indicated to me that at this time, you're really being called upon to communicate with your creator directly. And, you know, a lot of times in the past, we've gone to priests, um, shamans, um, all different kinds of spiritual leaders, um, and we've asked them to communicate directly with our Creator, with Great Spirit. Um, but during this practice, it was really highlighted that there is no need to go through anybody else, that you can speak directly, and that you can receive your own divine messages and intuition. By coming into direct communication with your creator, you can know fact from fiction. I think this is so important right now. This has been something that I've found so helpful over the past couple of years, where more and more truths keep getting revealed. So many things that were kept from us. Um, and but not all of it is fact, or not all of, or some of it comes from perspectives that may skew the facts. And it can sometimes be hard to know what is the truth here. But Great Spirit is indicating to you at this time that if you will put yourself in direct communication with God, with Great Spirit, that you will know fact from fiction. That will not be a problem. And I think that's also really important, not just in the context of our political atmosphere right now, but even just in the context of some of the developments in society, like artificial intelligence. Okay, moving on. Let's see. As you know, I'm not the only person who's saying this. There's so many spiritual leaders and mystics and astrologers and all types of healers that that are saying the same thing. We're going through a great evolution of the human experience, and there's even if you look at different religions, many religions are starting to hand down teachings and practices. I practice Buddhism, and there have been many practices that have been revealed that were only for um, monastics and people who practice their spirituality on a full-time basis. But at this time, there's so many teachings and truths that are being revealed. And the reason why is it's preparing us for an evolution of the mind. It's preparing us for an evolution of humanity. There are intuitives, clairvoyants, clairaudience, and sentients, energy healers, and other healing practitioners that are awakening to their gifts. And while at one time, many of us who have these energy states felt like we needed to keep it in, that and that maybe those gifts were useful more for our own life purposes and our path and our experiences. But I want to make no mistake in letting you know that Great Spirit is not just calling on you to accept your gifts and to learn to hone them for your own personal growth and experiences, but also so that you can introduce healing and the intuitive messages that might be coming through you to your friends and your family. And hell, maybe you even have a community of people that you want to start addressing and offering these gifts to. um, I I remember when I first became aware of my own intuitive gifts and healing powers, I questioned them greatly. Even though I had two near death experiences that called me to shamanic practice, I was very reluctant. I was trained academically as a biologist, a scientist, and I went into documentary filmmaking, which I produced films for 21 years. And I really considered myself more of a person who relied on facts, things that could be proven. Um, and so uh, it was hard for me to move into this career path. And well, it's really not a career path, it's really a life path that um, isn't always based on things that we can prove. But I know 100% that it is real. That the messages that I am downloading for you are real, and that um, the things that are happening, the things that are coming up, the things that get downloaded through me for my clients are 100% real, and I can trust that in not only delivering this message, but in working with clients one-on-one and working with the group healing sessions. And and that's what you're being called to do too. Not to do exactly what I'm doing. You figure out you, but you are being called to do you in a way that is not just private and not just personal, but that extends to people that you can influence in your life as well. Um, let's see. One of the other messages, as I was walking with Badger Spirit, um, that another message that I kept receiving was create, 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 create. And so I really got curious about this. And what I received was that really, if you tap into your heart space and create something that you love, that and you keep doing that repeatedly, that that heart energy, that energy that's created from doing that work will actually be what propels you into the future and into taking on this new task that you're taking on that you've never done before. So create, create, create. Now, all of us are creative in different ways, but we are creative. And it doesn't always mean artistically. I have a friend who is a brilliant coder and creates apps. I know people who create things for their cars and create things that to eat, food, things like this. There are so many different ways we can be creative. So sometimes when I'm working with clients and I say, and I have messages that they need to move into creative space, they think they need to become artistic and they don't feel artistic. And so there's an automatic disconnect. So I want to remind you that creativity comes in different ways, that we all create. We create every day. And that is usually through creativity that we feel very energetic, we feel very excited, we look forward to doing the thing that we're going to create. So maybe, look at your life, be curious about the things that you create that bring that energy, that heart energy that's going to really start opening up some room for you to take on these um, challenges that you've never met before. Okay, next. Spirit wants you to know that even when it seems your world may be crumbling around you, there's always a promise of new life. I find this a nice message considering that we have war and we have a lot of strife and just um, unrest in the world. And that can oftentimes produce a lot of feelings of fear um, and trepidation and just not feeling like we can have control. But the message that Spirit sent this week was that no matter how dark things are for you right now, there is light at the end of the tunnel and there is life. There is always new life, even after death. I also thought it was interesting that Great Spirit wanted me to mention that this is something that you can prove. You can verify that there's always a promise of new life after destruction. You can see this in nature. We have forest fires, we have mudslides and flooding, and even nuclear contamination. And yet, in these areas where there's been massive, massive destruction, we always see new life. Life renews and it goes on. Being creative will help to fortify your will and enable you to clearly move forward, having all the right tools. Um, Another thing that was clear to me is that there's really an abundance of heart energy coming in for you at this time. And again, this goes back to create, create, create. If you're not feeling it, then it's because you haven't put yourself in the right space to let it come in. And the creative space is one of the best places where you can receive that heart energy flowing through you. This heart energy is so important for where you are and for what you're going to tackle in the next few months. And it's there. There's an abundance of it. So you might already be feeling it, but if you aren't, then again, create. Put yourself in a space to let that energy flow in. It's indicated that sitting in meditative practice and absorbing and then re-expanding heart energy coming in for you right now can help heal old patterns of thought and stories that have kept you bound to them. I know sometimes when we've had tough things happen to us in life, that it can be hard to move past them. And a lot of times when I'm working with people, the hardest part of moving past them is dropping the story. And for a lot of us, even hearing that sounds like somebody is not validating our experience and how hard or difficult a situation or our story may have been. And that's not at all what I intend. I know that many of you have experienced some very solid traumas and that it is hard to move through them. But Great Spirit wants you to know that you can, and that dropping the story of victimization and being stuck, being unable to be sovereign, produces more of that. And so it's really important at this time that you start changing the narrative of the story and you start finding your power in the story. Because when you present your story as an empowered being, you become more empowered every time you tell the story. But when you tell the story as a victim, you become re-victimized every time you tell the story. And that is not what Great Spirit wants for you. Great Spirit wants you to accept the gifts that came from the story, that came from the experience, and to move forward and to share your gifts with your friends and your family and your community. And I'm excited to see you do that as well. While I was doing the shamanic journeying, I had the question come up, do you want to be stuck in old energy from old stories? Of course not. Who does? So then we do the heart practice meditation. And this week, for those of you who are on the call and staying with me, we'll be doing the heart meditation practice next. And this will really help to open up that space and really help to um, um, get you into the energy that is going to be necessary for you to accept the challenges, to do the thing that you have not done before. I'm really excited. By the way, if this is ringing true for you, please enter in the comments anything that you think might be fun for the rest of us to learn about how this is going for you. it is doing heart practices. And for those of you who aren't on the call and going to do the heart practice with us next, but are listening to this recording later, just really sitting in heart space and just really trying to open up to heart energy. Be curious about what that even is and how can that be expanded. That will help to bring in an energy of um, worthiness, self love, and confidence. And it will help to inspire you to live authentically and to really start to communicate your truths. So many of us, we know things. We know our truth. But we will sit in a room with other people expanding on what their truths are and never allow our truths to be heard. That's not the time that we're in anymore. Your truth is important. Your truth is part of the whole truth, and it needs to be heard and considered. The more you share, the more you receive. There's another message. Again, I think this is living authentically. The more we live authentically, the more we communicate in truth, the more we receive authentic relationship that is based on truth and love. And that is just an amazing gift. As we're moving into a time of year when the days are getting longer here in the Northern Hemisphere, you will probably begin to feel an abundance of energy. It's sunshine, a lot of it is sunshine, but it's also just the expansion and the surge of energy that the sunshine and all the rain and snow and moisture that we received are starting to produce. You might begin to feel the abundance of energy surging on the planet. This light energy can be used to enhance your gifts, but more importantly, to share them. So again, during the shamanic journeying, during the download, it was just, I was constantly being made aware that you're going to be asked to do something you've never done before. That you're going to be asked to live more authentically and more in truth than you ever have before. That you're going to be asked to share those truths and to live authentically with others, your friends and your family, and maybe even your community. And that the fourth thing is there's an abundance of light energy coming into the planet right now. And that you are being asked to take this light energy and use it to enhance your gifts. But more importantly, to share them. The more you share, the more you receive. So Intuit, do your intuition work, and share it. Create and share it. Receive and share some more. Accept a smile and share a smile. I was given a mantra for you to consider this week. For those of you who aren't familiar with mantras, mantras are literally protection for the mind. So when you find yourself spiraling or spinning or feeling worthless, out of control, fearful, mantras can be very helpful. They can help pull the mind back into balance, help ground the body, and for you to understand reality and accept reality. So I hope this mantra will help you this week. The mantra that was given to me: I have an abundant life. I generously give away all I don't need. I have an abundant life, and I generously give away all I don't need. For those on the call live, stay tuned, and I'll guide you through the heart energy practice that I've been talking about. And for all the rest of you, thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe so that you will know each week when the weekly Uplift message is posted on YouTube and Facebook. And let's see, what else? Oh, don't forget that if you want to join us for the group healing session live and hear the weekly update then, please join us on Wednesdays afternoons from 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Also, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one and we'll do some intuitive work or some energy healing or shamanic practice, please give me a call. I'd love to work with you.